morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Puneet.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning and Assalamu alaikum, Hasina ji.
Walaikum salam.
I see Kamal ji, Rashmi ji, Rama ji, Dipti ji, Arvind said.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Smita is a new name for us. So welcome, Smita, to Empowering Conversations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My sister Rashmi invited me in today. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome. Rashmi ji has taken a couple of sessions earlier. Very inspiring. Okay, so let me welcome you all to another empowering morning conversation. So let me bring some enthusiasm. So, very good morning, one and all. This is Kaunan Shahidi, and on behalf of Sukhdeepak Malwai and you all, basically, I welcome to another empowering morning conversations. And today is session number 672. And session number 672 means the day number 672, because this morning conversations we do have every morning, India time, 7 a.m. I am joining from Dubai, it's 5:30. Ratanji has joined from UK. Shakti Rainan has joined from Hong Kong. Rashmi ji, Smita ji joined from Singapore. And I believe Kasha Sai has joined from Australia. So it's an international community. It was started with just a couple of people, but now we are growing. And our mentor, our friend, our coach, Sukhdeepak Malwai, he has a mission to reach out to as many people as he or we can together to empower each and every one to become better individual, the better version of ourselves. And that's the basic main intention of empowering morning conversations. Today he is busy, so he requested me to facilitate these conversations. So I'll be sharing some slides and I'll be initiating some discussions. So I request you all to participate, because what I have learned from Sukhdeepak sir, he is a veteran since last 35 plus years. He is transforming many human beings. So he says that if you have to learn, you can best learn by doing. You can best learn by interacting. You can best learn by thinking, asking, answering. So in a way, interacting with other human beings so that you can learn more about any specific subject or anything. Okay, so let me share my slide and then we will take this conversation forward to become a better version of ourselves than yesterday. So, and that's what we can progress, we can improve, we can become better if consciously we are aware that today is a new day, another opportunity, and how can I become better than yesterday? That's what normally I start the day with this thought, and I'm sure we all. So thank you so much for joining. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe and like so that you can, you will be keep on getting the new messages, new thoughts, new content from Sukhdeepak Malwai, and you can become a better version of yourself. Let me share the slide. Where is this? Okay. If you can see my slide, just give me a thumbs up. Premji, can you see the slide? You can.
Yes, sir. Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. So here is Mr. Sudeepak Malve. I've just enlarged the picture. And let me put it on the share mode. What's this? My system is a bit slow today. So he's the gentleman, if you know, of course you all know, but if you are watching for the first time, and every morning at 7 a.m. and today is 14th February, people call this day Valentine's Day also, but we'll not talk about that. But we'll talk about the purpose of this conversations, or Sukhdev Malwai being a access consciousness facilitator or certified facilitator. He said that the purpose of us, we as a human being, if we think deeply, what exactly is that? The purpose is nothing but what you see on the screen is we all have desire that all of life comes to me as an individual, to you and to all of us with ease, joy, and glory. And that's why we get up every morning. And that's why we do each and everything. And that's why we do take certain actions, isn't it? So the question is that how we'll get it? If we have the desires, if we want to become something, or if we want to live our life, if we want our all of life coming to us with ease, joy, and glory, what shall we do? That's what we every morning interact with Sukhdeepak Malve. We learn certain tools and we practice in our day-to-day activities so that ultimately the desire of having the life with ease, joy, and glory gets fulfilled. So let's make it simple. Let's make it very clear that this is what is my purpose and this is what I am doing every moment to get it. Now, what Sukhdeepak Malve has taught us, which is coming on the screen, is that most of us, majority, and if you give a pause and think that we live our life with a certain mind state, and he calls it the default state. So we just take certain action to survive by somehow managing like other animal beings. So he said that as a human being, as an infinite being, we all have the purpose of all of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. Then we need to shift from survival to create mode. Because if we don't create, how we will get ease? How will we get joy? How will we experience the glory? So every morning when we interact, when we discuss, when we have the conversations, we learn certain new tools, certain practices, certain processes, so that we don't remain in the default state, but we shift from default to create mode. And when we create something new, then we can get whatsoever we want to have it. Now, the second important thing, what we practice is that we dissipate all the negativity, because wherever we live, and I'm sure you all have experience in your home or in the society or in your professional life, when you interact with other human beings, most of them are in the default state. And most of them have bit negativity, like complaining, blaming others, resisting. So we practice to dissipate all the negativity and convert into the positivity, more optimism, more enthusiasm. And the third thing is what Sukhdeepak Malve has taught us, and we do practice every morning or every day, in every situation. We keep on looking for new possibilities. So we call ourselves possibility seekers. And some experts say that there is a endless of possibilities. But since we put ourselves in the survival mode, we don't look the new opportunities, the new possibilities, and all such stuffs. But with the practice, with the awareness, with using certain tools, we become the possibility seeker, not the complainer. And last but not the least, if we all have to shift from survival to create, dissipate negativity, keep on looking for the possibilities, then we must have our focus, our attention in the right place with the full of enthusiasm and utilizing all our energy. So we do practice to learn how can I more focus, how can I have better attention, or how can I manage my attention in the right place so that I get whatsoever I do have the desire, and how can I utilize my energy in the right manner. So that's what is, in short, what do we do every morning to get it. Now, Sudeepak Malwai has also taught us that even though if you have all such desires and if you do practice, this is the formula, capital P equal to a small p minus a small I. And he says that capital P is the performance, a small p is your real potential, and a small I is the interference. So even though we are aware, even though we do practice, even though we know this is what I desire and this is what I need to be in a state, there'll be always some interferences. There'll be always some stoppers. There'll be some road blockers. Now, let me ask quickly, who can help me? Maybe Major Sir. What do you understand by performance, potential, and interference, as I explained you? So what is performance and what is potential in your opinion? Let me stop sharing for a moment and let's make this conversation more interactive. Major Saab, or let me ask Ratanji, you are on the camera.
Performance is what we see, what results the others see in me. And potential is unlimited, infinite, but we don't reach our goals because of our interferences, interceptors, or negative thoughts, or weaknesses, whatever you call it. They are like barriers or hurdles to reach our goals. This is what I think often.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Let me also ask Kasha Sai. Kasha Sai, please do share what's your thought on potential and interference or performance.
Yeah, potential potential is equal to performance minus interference. For our understanding, it is like we have a wonderful car that is our potential, which can run up to 300 miles. But we are driving in the road and there's a lot of traffic, and even though we are in the highway, there are some unexpected intersections of people coming in or traffic coming in. So it is like that. So the potential minus the interference is what the performance is being measured at. Performance is equal to potential minus interference. So out of which there's a lot of interference or physical interference, yes, we do have certain limitations in a lot of aspects, but there are a lot of mental interference which is deep within us, you know. You can brief us on each and every aspect. So which is like a virtual interference, which is not a real interference, but we assume there is a interference, and because of that, you know, we restrict our potential and it reduces our performance. So
Yeah.
through empowering morning conversation and with a lot of tools, it helps us to, you know, uh, to bring into our awareness what those interferences are. Is that a real interferer, or it's just an assumed interferer? And you know, to destroy it and to uncreate, you know, this is a beautiful platform.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kashaji, for sharing. I would like to request Smita ma'am, if you can share your thought so far, what we discussed, what you see on the screen, performance equal to potential minus interference. Any thought from you, Smita ji?
Hi. So no, this is just I'm listening in today, and I would just prefer to listen in today, please.
Okay.
Maybe going
Fine.
forward. Thank you.
Fine, thank you so much. So as Ratan sir explained, Kasha explained, and what you see on the screen, we do all want to have some desires to achieve certain things, and ultimately the results we define as a performance, and we do have the potential, as you see on the screen. So Deepak Malwai has described the potential as the inherent ability or capacity for growth. This includes knowledge, skills, ability, experience, and all such stuff, so what we acquire. So we all have the potentials, but there are roadblockers, there are interference, something that hinders, obstructs, or impedes. And what Deepak Malwai has taught us, as Kasha mentioned, one of that element, the mental interference. What Deepak Malwai says that there are three basics, the major interference: mind, body, and emotions. Now, how mind, how body, and how emotions are obstructing, creating hindrance in our journey of the life or desires whatsoever we do have, is something very basic which we all can understand. For example, let me start with emotions. So if because of certain situation, if we become angry, just for the sake of example, and we lose our control over our intelligence, then in that situation, in that moment, we can't take the right action to get the right result, to get the real performance. And I believe we all can understand. Similarly, body. So if we do get tired, if we get lethargic, if we have some issues, we can't take physical action, then we can't achieve the result. Now, the most important thing is the mind, the mental interference, which are something more challenging. And this is what I would like to have the conversation, the deep conversations, so that we really investigate within ourselves that how exactly mind can be the obstacles in your growth or in your performance as an individual whatsoever you do want, or the desire ultimately to have all of life coming to me with ease, joy, and glory. So if I want all of life, the ease, joy, and glory, how mind is going to obstruct? But before we discuss how, let's have the conversations on understanding or our knowledge or knowing about mind. It's very challenging subject to have discussion. And I, frankly speaking, I don't know about what exactly the mind is. But in this empowering morning conversations, we do gather here like a family members, and we do have conversations so that we clarify our doubts, our thoughts, our ideas, and we learn more. We can have that specific exclusive session with Sugdeepak Malvai on what exactly mind is. But let's have today's conversation to understand what is mind. How do you, or what the meaning you give when you think about this word mind? So let me again go back to Smita ji. Yes, today you are here to listen, but what's your thought, ma'am? Or if I make it simple, that how do you use the word mind in a sentence? If you can share. Let me stop sharing here and have the conversation. So what is mind? That's what is the question. Smita ji?
Yeah, I'm thinking with my mind.
I'm
Is
thinking
how
with
I
my
would
mind.
say.
That could be one sentence.
Yes.
So mind can be used as a thinking tool, or you think that mind is a tool for thinking.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Let me ask Dr. Hiral if she is there. Dr. Hiral Josh Vyas. If you're listening, normally Dr. Hiral is busy in the kitchen or doing something, but if not, let me ask Vetri ji, you are on the camera, your laptop is working now. Good.
Thank you, Gunesh. Amazing discussion. According to me, mind is a collection of thoughts.
Collection of thoughts is mind. Okay. Ratanji, what's your thought, sir?
I would say in compared to computers, mind is like a processor. It has a lot of conditioning. I mean, that is the human factor. The conditioning comes as a human factor. The processor processes in the computer much faster than most of the people because it doesn't have the human factor. Our mind can be weak, or sometimes it's fresh. But it's if it is reconditioned, if it is if we use the tools properly, we can strengthen it, and our performance becomes much better.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for sharing. So as per Ratan, sir, it's basically a tool to process your thoughts, your ideas, your imagination, and all such stuff. Thank you, sir. And Vetri mentioned that it's basically the collection of thoughts. Smita ji mentioned that it's a thinking tool. Let's listen from Rashmi ji. Rashmi ji, what's your thought, or what do you use? How do you use the word mind?
Well, for me, mind is more about the automatic processes that we have in our physical body. It is a collection of learned experiences that the mind kind of masters in going through the automatic motions of the day. And also it is the hub of all emotions, which and in logical thinking. So it is something that works at many different levels of our life.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I think Kasha Sai, if it's not your old hand raised, please do share your thought. What is mind?
Mind, in my perspective, is it's like a hard disk where it has a lot of data stored in. So when we operate from mind, it is whatever has happened in the past, or whatever we heard it works from that perspective, from the past. And, if we give a pass to a mind and if we just try to be more in the awareness, which is the creative mode than the, default mode, that would give us more possibilities and, more power to us. That's what I think. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Thanks for sharing. And anyone else, please, you can unmute yourself. You can raise your hand if you want to share. Let me welcome Ashok sir. Ashok sir is
Yeah.
another accomplished individual. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Yeah, I don't think you should add any adjective. My thinking about mind is totally different. We are given a sober name to the defensive system. If you see the life, total life as a whole, reproduction is reproduction or growth of the same what you call species is the purpose. When everything, you take tree, bird, man, anything, reproduction is the base of everything. And mind is a defensive system to protect us from the dangers of the life in various forms. It shows us the past, what happened. It can predict what is likely to happen in future. So basically, it is something like a red light on the mind, which tells us, or which warns us about the dangers that are likely to come and how to protect ourselves. We can give it any sober name, but basically it is a defensive system to ensure that we survive. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So we got a couple of insights, what exactly mind is. And what Sukhdeepak Malviya says that mind is one of the interference. Mind is one of the obstacles. Mind is one of the road blockers, which will stop us in achieving the goals, the desires, whatsoever we do have. And I see one statement from Dr. Hiral. She said that mind is self-judgment. So mind, in her opinion, does judgments. And again, she is writing, it's a combination of Atma and Manas. It's active by improvement of Chetana, which is present all over body. Now, this is another area of thoughts which most of the words in Hindi, Atma, Manas, Chetna. So basically, in my opinion, or my point of view, mind's something invisible, we can't see. So it's like software of the brain. And if I ask, as a human being, yes, we do all have mind. But what about animal beings? I'm sure that you all will agree that they also have minds. But the question is that what is the difference between the minds of animal beings and mind of human beings? If all the elements, all the stuffs, because animals also, they want to protect themselves. Animal also, they make it sure that nothing harms them. Animal also, they get up every morning, look for whatsoever they do have desire to survive. So what's my thought, my opinion is that For example, we are talking in this language, wonderful English language created by someone, I don't know. Just imagine that if we don't know this language, this English words, I, me, mine, you, talking, conversations. So if we don't have the language, then what? So I would request you to do this little small exercise. Be silent for 30 seconds. Don't use any language, neither through your lips, mouth, or internal language. Yeah, thank you. Now, if you remember yesterday session taken by Induji, she had taken us through a wonderful exercise where she told us to listen to the sounds around us and listen to the sound, something which is a bit far, listen to the sound which is. Now, if you have done this 30 seconds or whatsoever is exercise, not using the language, I am sure that there must be some conversation going on inside, some sort of language, something. If nothing, if there are no thoughts coming in, that's great. But if the internal conversation is still keeps on going, now when you are having this conversation, when you are listening me talking, and when you are putting yourself on camera and listening, watching, and if you're not on the camera, there must be certain thoughts, certain conversation going on in your mind. So what exactly is that? Let me ask Vetriji that, because Vetri has gone through a wonderful exercise of Upasana for 10 days, where you have to sit idle, doing nothing, just sitting. So when you sit idle, when you don't have any thoughts, nothing, what happens? Vetriji, over to you.
Thank you, Gunaji. Basically, it's very tough to have without the thought, it comes automatically. But thanks to Upasana, you rightly mentioned, even when you said that 30 seconds also, I was just observing my breath only. So to an extent, there was no thought, but I don't know. You can't live, I think, you can't live without thoughts.
Yeah. Experts say that every day we get 60 to 70,000 different thoughts. It keeps on coming, and most of the thoughts are repeated thoughts. Now, another question is that what is thought? But let's leave that for some other day's conversation. Coming back to how mind is going to be obstacle in our growth or the desire. Now, what we discussed about mind is, Ratan sir mentioned that it's basically processing your thoughts. And it's a collection of thoughts. What would you say that? Smita say that it's a thinking tool. And Rashmiji mentioned that it's a automatic process and control of thoughts, or hub of all emotions, logical thinking. And Kashyap said that it's a hard disk of all your life experiences. Ashok sir mentioned that it's a reproduction of growth processes based on the protecting yourself, the past and the future. So basically, it's a tool to protect yourself. So what exactly happens, in my opinion, and I'm sure that you all must have enough wisdom to know, understand with the language, if you're talking in the English language or whatsoever language you do have. If there's no language, then mind is powerless. So the question comes that the language, whatsoever we do use, gives the power to the mind. Now the question might come so that what about animals? They don't have any language, or they do have any language. In my opinion, that they have their own language. They do also communicate, but for a specific task, for a specific moment. I do have certain birds in my home, and I do observe they do communicate. Like when I keep them aside and when we approach, then they have some sort of communication, conversation, but it's for the specific moment you might have observed. But for the human beings, it's more challenging and more evolved language. It's more complex. And what's my observation is that if we remove the language, then what? So if any moment there are some dialogues going on, some thoughts coming and then conversation going on. Our thoughts is different than the communication. So when the communication starts, when the conversation starts, when dialogue starts internally, that's what we need to be careful. And that conversation starts, or that conversations, the basis of that conversation is all our previous experiences of life, all the memories whatsoever we have stored, all the conditionings whatsoever has happened, all the belief systems, what we believe, my opinion is this, and all such knowledge, all such stuffs which we have acquired, accumulated of a specific language. Could be anything. English, Tamil, Telugu, French, whatsoever it is. And that basically is the mind. When we observe any moment, if you observe, there is some conversation going on. At this moment also, there must be some conversation going on. Let me ask Kamalji that what's the conversation going on within your brain? Kamalji, if you can share your thought.
Yeah, Kunanji. So we know that most of the time our mind is a monkey mind, no? It just hanging here and there in the tree. So it's not in the right place most of the time. But yes, subconsciously, if we can train it, we can make it in a calm way. How to give the business to that monkey mind and keep ourselves away from that. That is the main prime which we have learned in the Vipassana also. How can you control your thought? By giving the attention to somewhere else and not in the thought. So somewhere we can control that mind, but then it's very difficult in our day-to-day life to get over control in it. And that's why we say that our mind is our master. So the mind can achieve what we can conceive. So it's all depend on you, how you are treating that master. Are you becoming a slave of that, or or you become a master of your mind?
Thank you, Kamalji. But what I'm asking you, sir, what's the conversation happening in your head now?
Right now, it's more about how do I going to plan my day. There are certain challenges. I'm going to tackle that, the planning. So it's kind of survival. Now, how I'm going to survive today, what I'm going to do today. That kind of thoughts are going on.
No, but at this moment, I'm talking about this moment right now when you're talking. See, that's the challenge, that's the key, and thus it happens with everyone. As you rightly mentioned, some experts they say mind is like a monkey. Monkey means monkey is an animal, and monkey has a specific attributes of being in the action most of the time without any purpose, jumping from one tree to another tree or doing some mischievous stuffs. So they say that your mind is also like a monkey, so it keeps on wandering, and that's one of the thoughts, one of the study done. And as you rightly mentioned, it's a bit challenging. And let's listen from Ratan sir, his thought on this right now, the conversation going on.
Okay. Whatever we speaking now and exchanging views is more like a transactional mind. We want to achieve, we want to perform, but like our mantra, when we need ease, joy, and glory, in fact, we have to bring the thoughts as minimum as possible. Nobody can say the zero thought, but as minimum as possible is, when you really experience joy, glory, and ease. And also at that same time, a poet can write poetry, or an author can write a book when the mind is very, very calm. Like even, the Newton's law was observed when the apple fell. And he had the scientific mind. So he observed it. It's not that he was the first to observe, but his mind was very calm. And he had a scientific mind, and he says, why does the apple only fall down? Why not go up and all that? And so it's we so far been speaking only on transaction, but there are different minds, and the mind can take us to the supreme if you focus on it. So it's a multi-dimensional tool.
Yeah.
So
Thank
you
you,
put it, yeah.
Now, other finding, as you rightly mentioned, giving the example of Albert Einstein, some experts say that each and every child, I don't know the date of birth of Albert Einstein, but any other child born on the same day or same time or the same month was exactly similar to Albert Einstein. But why Einstein became Einstein, or why when Albert Einstein saw the apple falling and having a thought, other individual could have the thought, or for example, if I would have been there in that place, I would have said that, what the hell, who is throwing apple to me? Someone is putting me in trouble. That could have been another thought. Now, the difference between Albert Einstein and other human beings, as we discussed earlier, is about the conditioning. So from the birth of a child till a specific age, or just take the example of Albert Einstein at that specific age, he was conditioned in a specific manner by using a specific energy and the language. So in that moment, the thought coming to him and then his interpretation was something different. So thank you, sir. Thanks for sharing. Now, let me quickly go back in the chat if anything is there. I got that, Ratan sir. Jinesh Ji is complimenting you, sir. He got some message. Now let me bring in Jinesh Jan also in the conversation for quick thought. Then I'll share my slides, what I have. So Jinesh Ji, if you would like to share something. Junaid Saab? If not, let me go back to. So this is what we were discussing, gentlemen. Now, let me share my next slide, which is, you must be very familiar. It is known as the placebo effect. Scientifically proven, and this is basically, let me go back because this is another one. So placebo effect is basically a scientific proof that we have the ability to heal ourselves. Our thoughts are powerful enough to bring things into existence. I personally like this concept, and I personally have experienced this being part of the pharmaceutical industry. And I'm sure you all must be aware that placebo effect is nothing but the fake medicines being given to the patient. And they are told that this is the medicine, the actual real medicine which you consume, you will be all right. While it was not the real medicine, just sugar-coated some pills. The real molecule of the medicines or the real attributes were missing. It's not there, just sugar-coated pills. And when the patient consume, a study says around 50 to 60% the cure, it happens. So scientists, they observed, they did the research to understand why it is happening. And it's very basic common sense. We all know that, or if we consume something that we expect that this is going to do something good. And since this doctor is giving me, this clinic or this hospital is giving me, so this is perfectly all right. It's the real medicine. And if I consume, I'll be all right, or my problem of a specific part of the body or something, if it's not good, it's going to be all right. And it becomes. So the question we need to think is that what's happening there? Now, if I put myself in the situation or in the place of patient, I'm consuming and I'm thinking. And thinking means the conversation going on in my mind or through our mind that, yes, this is the pill, I will eat, I will be all right. This is the pill, I will eat, I am all right. So that conversation is happening. And that conversation has the power. Whatsoever the language we do use. Fake pill has been given to me. I have taken, I have put it in the mouth, taken the water to gulp it, and then conversation is happening that I'll be all right, I'll be all right, I'll be all right. And then it has a power. Now, similarly, scientific studies have been done. They call it nocebo effect. And nocebo effect is basically the experiences, views, and knowledge of others, the conditioned mind, and then a stimulus, all such as stuffs, being in the specific mode, we can call it default mode, and negative expectations that something wrong will happen, something bad will happen, something is not good, blaming, complaining, resisting, and all such as stuffs, negativity. And those thoughts, the conversation, whatsoever is happening, creates certain stress, certain sensation, and then we have adverse effect and symptoms. So the point what I wanted to highlight in today's Empowering Morning Conversation with Sudeepak Malwai is that he says that mind is one of the major obstacles in your growth. But it depends what exactly we do, what the conversation going on inside. If we use with the powerful thoughts, with the positivity, enthusiasm, and all the positive expectations, then the performance would be different. But if we use negatively, then the result will be different. So coming to the next slide, I'm quoting this Dr. Wayne Dyer. He said that If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, what's happening is there, if you change the way you look at things, so when we are looking at certain things, again, some conversation is going on. And if we are aware of that conversation, for example, if I say that, oh, this gentleman is having very bad attitude. So if I'm looking at a specific person and this conversation is going on, then it will have its own effect. But if I change the way I am looking and having the conversation, then it will have a different effect. So what Dr. Wine is telling here is that when you are looking at certain things, you are having some conversation, you are talking to self about the person, about your previous experiences, your memories, whatsoever about the person. If you change to positive, then it becomes different. Now, let me also quote another great Rumi. He says that protect yourself from your own thoughts. Protect yourself from your own thought. Now, thoughts are there, it keeps on coming, but what exactly our mind is doing, whether it could be constructive, positive thoughts, or it could be negative, destructive thoughts. So we have to be aware that what kind of conversation is going on. And if I want my life coming to me with the ease, joy, and glory, then I have the power to create the thoughts which are only positive, constructive. And that's what Sukdeepak Malvai says, that shift yourself from default to create mode. And when we are in create mode, then only we can have the constructive, positive conversation going on within our head. And as someone else had said that your mind can be a very dangerous monster or very obedient servant. So the point in today's Empowering Morning Conversation, which I wanted to highlight and discuss with you all, is that we need to understand what is mind and how it is becoming the obstacles in my performance, the growth. And if we know that, because every moment it's active, it's working, we have to enhance our awareness and observe that what exactly is going on. And we have the power to change. If we can do that, wonderful. But of course, with the practice, it happens. This monkey mind, as Kamalji mentioned, but we have the power to convert this monkey into lion. Great. So we are about to close today's Empowering Morning Conversations. So, and now let me request you all to please, if you want to share something, your thoughts on today's subject or anything else, please come on camera or unmute yourself and shout out. But before I request you all, since Ratanji,
excellent session, Korenji. I thoroughly enjoyed each and every word of your both spoken word and the written word that you had so endearingly shown to us on these slides. Each quotation was pregnant with meaning, and your exposition on mind, thoughts, and the soul, if only if we're able to assimilate even at least 10%, our life will be one of ease, joy, and glory. I thoroughly enjoyed being part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Major Saab. Thank you so much for your kind words. But in your opinion, sir, what is mind?
Mind, doesn't matter what is mind. As long as you're able to have a harmony of your thoughts, feelings, and action, you need not have to worry about mind. Unity of thought, words, and action. that will ensure that your mind is always pure and your life will be peaceful and you'll have no problems in life, because it's all, as you rightly said, how you look at things. And if you're able to change the way you look at things, certainly the impact of the things that you look at certainly changes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thanks for sharing. And okay, so anyone else? Dipti ji, Jinesh ji, Prem ji, Arvind said. Priya, how are you today? Is everything fine?
Yes, sir, everything is fine. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good too.
So, is your mind supporting you to achieve whatever you are looking for?
Not exactly. There's just a fight between my thoughts and emotions.
As
Today's
Major
topic is certainly helping me.
Yeah. So keep on having conversation with Sudeepak sir time to time, and know how to manage this monster and make it a servant.
Yeah, I'll do so.
Thank you so much. Jinesh ji, why don't you come on camera or unmute yourself and speak? Jinesh ji is writing in a chat box, Quran sir, one Ghalib share from you to make the morning and day memorable. जनाब शायरी तो मैं आपको सुनाऊंगा जब आप कैमरा पे आएंगे. He is there on camera. So what's your thought on today's conversation, sir?
Professor.
Jinesh ji is another accomplished individual, has done a lot for self and others, contributing to the humanity in many positive ways. Yes, sir, over to you. Gautam ji is also here. Gautam sir, welcome. Kevon Ashan Dada. Hello. Okay. Jinesh ji, would you like to share something?
I don't remember the share. I want to share if this is time for the share. Is it?
No, you can share your thoughts. What's your opinion about?
I'm not recalling the ghazal or whatever, but Ghalib had written something about Calcutta.
Oh.
18. He had called them Delhi to Calcutta to get his pension back. And he has written, he said he is there.
I think there's some issue with your signals. Your voice is breaking. Okay, let me go to Gautam ji. Gautam ji, would you like to share something?
Yeah, good morning. I'm sorry and apologize. I'm late today. Mind is, we are trying to control our mind. Mind is very flexible. I mean, every time it goes towards different direction. And EMC is helping us uttering the word that is stop judging, stop and be happy, and all of life comes to me with ease, joy and glory. That is helping me to come back to the track. Controlling mind power will increase the mind power like that. Thank you very much. But it is very difficult to control mind. It goes towards a different direction, especially good to attract the negative thoughts, negative all our activities going around. Thank you very much. We are using our EMC conversation and the regular work. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Gautam ji. Just a quick one. The sentences, the words what you used, basically that's the conversation going on. So convert it into that, it's easy to manage your mind. When you say then it becomes. Now, what happens is that you are right. That's how we have been programmed, that mind is very complex, very challenging, monkey mind, this and that. All such knowledge is there, but we can convert into that. It is easy. It might take some time, but I can manage in a more
Yes.
positive way. Good,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much. So it's about to close the session. Let me request Kamalji. Kamalji is another accomplished member of Empowering Morning Conversations, and he always shares wonderful thoughts in form of shairi, two-liners. Kamalji.
Yes, sir. And one a quote which I remember from the Gautam Buddha's the famous quote that the mind is everything. What we think, we become. So we are the result of our thoughts. So whatever you're thinking, you become that. And it's very important that every day we have to sit quiet and listen to our thought, what he's saying. And if we can interpret that, we can know what he's saying, then I think most of the problem may get solved. Okay, शायरी की बात है तो एक शायरी थी कि कुछ यूं बीती सन्नाटों में रात मेरी, कुछ यूं बीती सन्नाटों में रात मेरी, मैं ही बैठकर सुनता रहा बात मेरी.
कुछ यूं बीती सन्नाटों में रात मेरी, मैं यूं ही बैठा सुनता रहा बात मेरी.
Yes. That's it.
So what Kamalji is telling is that he is sharing the experience of the shair or the poet, is that he says that I spend my night in a silence like this, that I was talking to myself all the time. Basically, that's what we need to practice every moment. If we keep on observing what's happening and how can I change this to achieve my desires or my goals or have the ease, joy, and glory, or the contribution or something else, then that's the power. And as Gautamji mentioned that. Okay, fine. So thank you so much. Let me close today's Empowering Morning Conversation with my shairi. Arz kiya hai, and I request Premji, are you there? I think he wanted to say something. He had unmuted. Prem Gandhi sir is another very senior.
Sir, I बहुत अच्छा लग रहा था मेरे को सुनने में, और सबका एक्सपीरियंस बहुत अच्छी लगी. कुछ बोलूंगा तो रिपीट होगा, बस एक ही वर्ड बोल रहा हूँ. हम कभी मंदिर जाते हैं, मस्जिद जाते हैं, सामने सत्संग बोलते हैं, जो भी सामने गुरु जी होते हैं या पंडित जी, मगर हमारा माइंड उसमें नहीं जाता, हमेशा अलग प्लानिंग में चला जाता है. बहुत कंट्रोल करते हैं, मगर कभी पूजा भी नहीं जाएगा ना सत्संग, सिर्फ माइंड जो है चेंज हो जाता होगा. बहुत मुश्किल काम होता है अपने माइंड को कंट्रोल करना. वही से मंकी माइंड, जो काम के टाइम काम नहीं करना, पूजा के टाइम पूजा नहीं करनी, जब हमारी कोई मीटिंग होनी तो अलग था उठा ले.
But with the practice it can be done, sir. I request you. पहले तो हमें ये बोलना होगा कि नहीं ये आसान है, मुश्किल होगा लेकिन ये आसान है, हो सकता है.
नहीं, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, यही तो प्रैक्टिस, यही तो माइंड तो करना पड़ता है ना. जब भी आप बैठोगे, कभी भी आप बैठोगे, मतलब आपके जो थॉट अलग चले जाएंगे.
सही बात. Yes, but that's what Empowering Morning Conversations purpose is. This is what it is. We keep on practicing every morning.
Yes.
To ensure that.
I daily इसलिए मैं सुनता ही रहूं, कुछ बोला नहीं, मेरे को बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा था सबको.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, मैं एक शायरी अर्ज करना चाहूँगा, and I request Hiral ji, can you translate? Hasina ma'am, are you there, ma'am? Let me request Arvind. Arvind, say it. How are you, sir? You are walking?
Morning, Kunin sir. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Yeah, it's not walking today. It's more on household today.
Okay.
Right, but I was listening to the whole conversation. Thank you very much. It was really an enlightening topic. So I think this is also one of the purpose of life, to decode your mind, your ways of working, and reducing your own interferences. So this gives more insight on that. Thank you.
Yeah. सर मैं एक शायरी अर्ज कर रहा हूँ, उसको ट्रांसलेट कर दीजिएगा.
I'll try.
So अर्ज किया है कि खुद से जीतने की जिद है, मुझे खुद को ही हराना है. खुद से जीतने की जिद है, मुझे खुद को ही हराना है. मैं भीड़ नहीं हूं दुनिया की, मेरे अंदर एक जमाना है.
Right, sir. Once again, line by line.
खुद से जीतने की जिद है, मुझे खुद को ही हराना है.
So I want to express myself. To do that, I want to go beyond myself.
मैं भीड़ नहीं दुनिया की, मेरे अंदर एक जमाना है.
I am not the crowd of this world. I have my own world inside.
Yes.
I hope.
Thank you so much. Very close. Ratanji, would you like to say something on this shairi? Ratanji keeps on sending.
I would just say Zamana is I would translate as the universe. The universe is in me. Yes. I'm not a person in the crowd. The universe is in me. We have to explore it.
Yeah. So thank you so much. So the essence of this shairi is basically related to today's topic, is that I have to defeat this monkey mind. I have to manage the way I want to manage this monkey mind. And I have the power to create the universe whatsoever I have desire to create, which we can. So with this note, I would like to close today's Empowering Morning Conversation with Sudeepak Malvai, session number 672. And looking forward to see you tomorrow to another Empowering Morning Conversation. So keep us joining and keep us improving ourselves, making better version of ourselves each and every day, bit by bit by bit. Thank you so much. Stay safe and stay blessed. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.